So I would say that my first favorite skier, because I've had many, but for sure my first was Henrik. And when I watched Henrik's refresh segment, that was kind of the segment that turned me on to him. I watched his refresh segment on repeat, So Far So Hood, and I just really just felt inspired by him. I felt like he was on the edge of something, and I didn't really know what that something was, but I really liked everything that he brought to the equation, and like I was dressing up completely like him at that time, and like he inspired so much, and I really like appreciated his influence because I felt like that showed me kind of a lot about how style was really, really important and how it wasn't just about the tricks, it was kind of how you did the tricks, and I felt like I really learned that from him. He's obviously still one of my favorite skiers. But then, as evolution goes on, I would say the next guy that sort of was my favorite skier was Clayton Vila, because I grew up on the East Coast, and the step movies were very close to home. They were all filmed near Boston and whatnot, and East Coast skiing and street skiing are very synonymous with each other. So when I was starting to really get into street skiing was right around when Clayton was coming up, and it was really cool to see his like network parts turn into bigger parts. And of course, like to me, his Mutiny part's one of the best street segments of all time. So basically, when Mutiny came out, like Clayton Vila was like the guy for me, and he was like my favorite skier at that point in time. And what I really felt like I learned from that, or why he was my favorite skier, was I felt like he was taking film parts from a conceptual level to really the next level, and it felt like his film parts were so well thought out, from filming or spinning both right side and left side forwards in that part, and just the variety of what he skied. I really felt like he was pushing what was going on in film skiing, and that's like what I really like took to heart, and that part just made me a super fan, you could say. And then I was on my Mutiny Clayton Vila favorite skier thing, and I remember vividly one day I was on a street trip in Quebec, and I was thinking in terms of like, okay, like what's possible street skiing, and like here are my idols, my previous idols like Henrik and Clayton. And then Kieran's like, I got the link to this guy named Magnus. I got the link to like some of the shots he got this year for the Level 1 movie. Do you want to see the link? I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah. And of course, the Magnus Les, Freddie Gibbs, BFK comes on, and that just reopened my mind to what was possible. And I remember it was like such a before and after thing. And that's like the thing with all of these skiers I'm naming, is it was like before I saw them ski or that part, and after. Because there's like a direct translation in how I looked at skiing and how I looked at skiing after. Before Henrik's Refresh skiing, I thought skiing like here, and then after I saw Refresh, it was here. Before I saw Mutiny, it was here. After I saw Mutiny, it was here. Before I got that private link of what would be the last segment, skiing was here to me. After it was here. And basically, Magnus is just so good at using his full ski. And after I saw that, I just fell in love with how can I use my full ski. You know, it's not necessarily about what trick I do, but how can I be like playing with my noses to the maximum amount? How can I be using my tails and using like everything with the ski? Because it's not just about technical difficulty, it's also about how you can bend and flex your ski. And so those are my favorite skiers pretty much, and that's pretty much the order of how I got hooked on them. And yeah.